Hello, good whatever it may be in the whatever part of the world you're in, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live special. We're talking about Python Patrol Target exclusive reveals tonight. Yes, so it's been a busy old day. I haven't been like in a situation where I could actually, like report on or even like share a lot of the stuff that's kind of been breaking today. But it's nice that we've had some pretty cool reveals today after I did a PulseCon preview. Was it yesterday? That was good timing, where we talked about these particular Target exclusives, and now we know what they are. And there's been loads of kind of like confusion and not sure what was going to be revealed for the Target exclusive figures. Or was it Poe, Dahl, and Nabokov? Now it looks like we pretty much know what we've got. Anyway, yeah, thank you for everyone watching. Jamie Lynn, A Punk with Toys, David Allen, Retro Romers, Kofi Fox, Rexship 85, Penny Rooster Reviews, and Jamie Lynn, of course, I've just mentioned that already. Hello, hope everyone is having a fine Friday, wherever you may be in the world. It might not even be Friday in your part of the world. We've got lots to get through, so let's do it. And of course, I have to go soon, so unfortunately, we can only do a short one tonight. And also no weekly today. If you're joining me right now and you weren't aware of that, there is no weekly today, unfortunately. And sorry if the stream is really bad right now because I've had that logo and it has not moved. So I bet there's a lot of glitching, unfortunately, and I apologize profusely. But let's get stuck into the actual images and the reveals and everything because it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? Yes. So yesterday I did a PulseCon preview where I discussed the possible figures we could see revealed over PulseCon, and lo and behold, three of them I kind of expected to be revealed over PulseCon actually revealed today, and pre-orders dropped today. It was actually quite an interesting kind of development throughout the day. I had someone sending me images, really rough images of kind of like uh, potato style images, of the Televiper and Trouble Bubble, and then also like two listings on Target of Copperhead and the Trooper or the Officer, and we'll get to that first. I think once again, Hasbro has decided to confuse the living crap out of us with the Trooper Officer crap, which is hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, early today, like I got those images sent to me, and I was like, okay, cool, shared them. And then I was on the road for a lot of today. I took my parents to our old stomping ground in Munsley in Norfolk, and kind of drove around and walked around and stuff like that. So I wasn't in like the ample kind of position to report on this or to even share some stuff. We ended up sitting down and having some chips from a little place on the seafront because it's a seaside town we used to live in. And I looked at my phone, and lo and behold, there were loads of loads of images and stuff. I thought, for goodness sake, typical. So it took a while to get back and then I've got to go out in a little while as well to see the In Demand Toys crew. So it's just been one of those days where I haven't been able to be on top of everything. Anyway, so the reveals and the kind of pre-orders and everything all kind of like happened at once, and then it's all on Target. It was all on Hasbro Pulse. That's been and gone. They're sold out now. All of them are sold out, I believe, on Hasbro Pulse, and Target still open pre-orders, which is great. Links in the description if you haven't jumped on them yet. And it's really cool that this is one of those things that kind of ticked a lot of boxes. But let's start with the Python Cobra Officer. Now, okay, let's rewind to the first time the Officer came out. Yeah, we've already had the Python Cobra Officer, and it was obviously the deco of the Officer from the vintage line, right? Now, in the vintage line, the Officer and Trooper figures were erroneously mixed up. They were first shown off in a catalog, like Toy Fair catalog, I believe, the Python Patrol lineup, and the Trooper was the Trooper figure with the correct deco, with this deco. No, with the other deco, and the Officer was the Officer body in this deco, right? So what Hasbro looked to have done was to rectify that error with the officer that they brought out. Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago? It was a while back. And it looked like they'd rectified that issue. They've only gone ahead, and then SDCC, we were told that it was a typo on the SDCC panel that said officer, so it should have been the trooper. It was a typo. Don't worry about it. It'll be a trooper. I was like, cool. I'll tell everyone. Brilliant. And now I look like a moron for saying that it was going to be a trooper. Anyway, I think there's been an error at some point, and then that error has just kind of like almost been rectified and then made into an error again. So now we have two classified Python Cobra officers as opposed to one trooper and one officer. Just when you thought they'd rectified the error, they go and throw in a new error, which is amazing. What is funny though is, there was a lot of talk because obviously there's an element here of the body being an officer as well. There's a lot of officer elements to this particular figure, and it doesn't have the chevron helmet. And you think, well, that would, so it's not an officer. It's not an officer because it doesn't have the chevron helmet. So I don't know. It's all over the place currently. I don't know if this is. It's got to be the final countdown. It's got to be the classified countdown confirmed. It's got to be the final text, fit on the box, and it has, because that's what it's being promoted as on Target and everything. In any case, it's not that much of an issue, but it makes me laugh after it looked like they were rectifying error from the vintage line and just being like, no, we'll make our own errors, thank you very much. In any case, I haven't really seen the images properly because I've just got home, hastily made had to set this all up, including the slideshow and everything, and I haven't really looked at the packaging and stuff like that. So that's kind of something I was hoping to do now, but now I can't because it's on links, isn't it? Bear with me 2 seconds. I do kind of want to look at this in like much closer than it is on screen right now while we go through them. So let's have a look at the officer and the images for said figurine. So yeah, we've got, come on, why can't I? There we go. Sorry, I'm being a person that has never obviously operated a phone before in their entire lives. Call me Grandad McLeod. Now, this particular box art looks to be very kind of nondescript, but you're looking probably in that kind of junglist, massive Mayan temple sort of background that we've seen different angles and variations of with the other exclusives, right? Yes, they're up on Target, Nictimus. I've said the links are in the description. Links are in the description for Target right now. I don't know why you're telling me they're up on Target. We've literally covered that. So yeah, there's not like a lot on there that's making me go, oh, that's the thing. That's the thing. It looks a bit more kind of generic, the background. Beautiful render art though, and wicked artwork as well for that particular figure. But why did they? Genuinely was told that it was going to be a trooper and that the officer was a typo at SDCC by Hasbro, by the way. So I don't know whether they've changed or whether they've forgotten or they made a mistake and they didn't change it back. Who knows? But anyway, hilarious. Anyway, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to be calling this the Trooper. So there. You've kind of also got the there's a few kind of elements they've got in here. The funny thing is with Target exclusives is for a while, and with a lot of the exclusive figures, they were kind of minimal on weapons and accessories. They didn't have loads and loads of stuff. It seems to have kind of turned a corner a bit, and they've got a lot more kind of bits and bobs that you'd kind of associate with the other version of the figure. Sometimes they did cut back, like they did with the Viper, and they took the neckerchief away and they cut back on some other things. Obviously, the budget's a little bit bigger now, obviously. Robert H. Looks like he's in the backyard. Yeah, he kind of does, doesn't he? So yeah, it looks like, by the way, that Cobra Officer and Copperhead are Poe and Dahl. That's what it looks like. So they were. I'm also surprised it's all Python Patrol. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like no Tiger Force in there. They've just kind of done like a Python Patrol wave. Does that mean that we've got a Tiger Force wave next coming round the corner? Because we do have more listings for Target exclusives, by the way. So yeah, we that'll be interesting to see what we get on the Tiger Force side of things. If indeed it is, they might just keep doing Python Patrol now for the rest of their lives. What's the Tiger Force character that was going to be revealed that wasn't Chris? What? Um, there's more figures coming, so I'm imagining there'll be Tiger Force in that. Um, but yeah, there isn't a. I think I was told that Poe and Dahl were redecos, and one was a Tiger Force and one was a Python Patrol. So it might be that they switched things up, or that might have just been incorrect information initially. But they were technically both redecos. They just didn't tell me that they were both Python Patrol. Now, we did know Nabokov was a figure and vehicle, and it turned out to be the one everyone expected it to be. Not myself. I did not expect it to be the Python Patrol and Trouble Bubble, which we'll get to later. But we'll get to that later. But I was just kind of talking about here on the actual figure itself. There's a lot of gear with this one. Alternate head, different, skin color. You've got you've got the one helmet though. You've got the goggles. You've got the pistol. You've got the two rifles and their magazines, which are not all of the magazines are shown on screen right now. The rifle back. Actually, the magazine might be on the side. Yeah, it is. The magazine is on there. Sorry, the magazine is attached to that other rifle because it's in the side and it doesn't show on that silhouette, does it? So they're both in there, and of course the sheath backpack or the holster backpack and that knife as well. Yeah, so it's and of course the secondary, the arm kind of infantry squad leader sort of arm piece. Why are they calling this an officer? I don't understand. There's obviously a mistake has been made and they haven't rectified it. That is hilarious to me. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do more digging on that and ask what the hell happened there, because it'd be nice to actually be able to kind of tell you what actually happened with that process. What did I miss? Says Darren. Not, I mean, I haven't really got anywhere yet. Lenny tried to get it fixed, but they didn't listen. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So yeah, that's that. Thank you, Darren. I was going to ask that question. Oh, you already talked to him. Thank you very much. You saved me a job. Oh, by the way, what did I on my unboxing the other day? I said I would speak to Lenny, ask him what that animal was on the shoulder. Did I or did I not? And Lenny actually got back to me a few minutes after the stream finished. I forgot to mention that. And he basically said, it's a mongoose. They eat cobras. So the Snake Eyes, Desert Commander Snake Eyes has a mongoose on his tampo. And that's what that was. And I did say mongoose initially, but then a couple of people were saying, is it a honey badger? So no, it is a mongoose, 100%. Lenny designed it and it's a mongoose. There you go. Because they eat snakes. There you go. Or they eat cobras, I should say. What are we saying? Rexship says, fingers crossed for a Tiger Force Snake Eyes like they did for Super 7. That would be kind of fun, actually. Michael Gene Fleming says, Cobra's counter intel program is paying off for them. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's interesting then. Because like I said, I think it was Lenny I spoke to initially, and he said that it was a typo. It was going to be a trooper. Obviously, the error was noticed by Lenny, but it was not changed by the people at hand. There you go. I just noticed the armband isn't on right in the photo. Is it not? It should be the other way around? What is it on the? Yeah, it is up. It's upright, isn't it? That's right. So it's so far there. It's all on the right way up. What are you trying to say, Robert H? Because that is the right way up for the armband, with the kind of like the kind of going upwards. I can't. It doesn't seem to be wrong on there. Unless I don't know, what are you looking at that's wrong? Because I'm looking at all those images and they're all going in the right direction. Oh, you mean it's not on the bicep? Okay, right. I see what you're saying. Sorry. Yeah, it's just fallen down, hasn't it? Basically, I see what you're saying. It should be up on the bicep. I see what you mean. I get it. It just felt it's obviously fallen down when the picture's been taken. Yeah. Um, why is there a $10 discrepancy in the price of the first flight pod and the Python Patrol flight pod? Not a clue, actually, Rachel. And that's one of the reasons why I was kind of surprised that it was actually the Trouble Bubble and Televiper. I thought it would have elements taken out of it. You still got all the elements. Anyway, talking of accessories stacked, but why did they call it an officer? Obviously, it's an error on their part. Lenny did notice and obviously ran it up the flagpole, but it wasn't rectified at the right stage. Maybe it had already gone through. Maybe the error it already happened with, and all the packaging had been printed before it was noticed. But yeah, that seems to be quite a big one, doesn't it? Especially when that error in the vintage line is so prominent with these figures. You'd think you'd kind of go, "Oh, let's double check that one." Yeah, so yeah, beautiful images that we got as well, promo images. Shout out to Shooting the Galaxy, who will be on the PulseCon kind of event. He'll be, I think they're going to be talking to him about the photography and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be interesting. Can't wait for that. And yeah, he did some great shots here. I do love this figure, and this figure's great. It's going to be an awesome troop builder. And yeah, very happy that it's been done, at least, even though they got the blooming name wrong. So weird. Yeah, some cracking shots though. Very happy with that. And there's a shot at the back with all the gear in it. We know what the figure does. It's a repaint. We know that. And yeah, and there's the shot without the helmet. He's probably in a bit of a close quarters combat fight there, by the look of it. And yes, it's the Cobra Island background that we saw with the Baroness and the twins again. So interesting that. Yeah, and then we get Copperhead, who is, what would I say, another. Well, yeah, it's either Poe or Dahl. I believe, I don't know which one's which yet. I'm sure I'll find out. I'll find out by looking at the numbers probably eventually. But yes, Copperhead. This one is a beauty, and I really love the box art on here. It's at night. This one. It's obviously kind of very reminiscent of the Night Force packaging and background, because there's that Mayan temple again. It's like, I guess, oh, Cophead is Poe, Trooper is Dahl. Thank you, Darren. It's very reminiscent of the Night Force, isn't it? Which is kind of cool. And I'm just having a look. It's where you see my forehead only right now. I'm just having a closer look at the artwork. Looks very nice indeed. Is there other stuff going on in the background, because I can't really see much? Is that an elephant trunk? Or is that just a bit of tree? I don't know. It's hard to say, but looks awesome. And yeah, interesting. They've gone with that kind of. Oh, there's an iguana there, is there? Where is it? I can't see that. Oh, it is an iguana. Yeah, I see it now. It's obviously, I'm looking at it on a tiny screen, like, that I'm streaming on, as opposed to an image on, on the phone or anything. So yeah, that's awesome that the iguana's in there. Mr. Roper says, didn't get any email from Hasbro Pulse about these dropping. I'm a premium member and never get the emails about the stuff. Yeah, I usually get the email about 15 minutes afterwards. But yeah. Rather Army build Falcon than get Python Patrol, says Superzone. Wow, that's harsh. Yeah, I said Serpentor, the iguana, guys. Why do you keep kind of like trying to correct me? I just said it. Operation Dragonfly Day 4 episode. Yes, thank you very much, Darren. It's not about the background, it's about the Night Force aesthetic, is what I'm getting at. It's interesting they've done it at night, is what I'm getting at. But because it's Tiger Force and Python Patrol situation, it's not a Night Force scenario. So it's kind of interesting that they've gone that route, is what I'm saying. I love the Copperhead one. I think it's wicked. And again, we've got the Python Patrol logo. We've got another tampo there as well, haven't we? That's a belt buckle. So it's the belt buckle and the deck and the, what do you call it, logo. Very nice indeed. Love it. Yeah. And there you go. There's the figure on the white background with all of these accessories. And again, loving the deco. I think it's a really cool version of the figure. I'm very excited that this one's coming out. And yeah, it's Copperhead. Again, it's a repaint. We know it. Again, utilizing that kind of Cobra Island background that we've seen very recently with the twins and the Baroness. So kind of tying in maybe the narrative. I guess there'll be a, I guess there'll be an element. I guess there'll be an element of the show where they talk about this on the during PulseCon when they kind of show the figures in hand, go through all this kind of stuff, and talk about them again, I guess. And there, that's probably why it all kind of connects together in that kind of narrative with the dioramas and everything. Would have been cool to get the iguana with Python Patrol Copperhead. Lol. Yeah, it would have been cool. Wreckship would have been amazing. We don't know why the Python Patrol Trouble Bubble is cheap, but I think it's just because it's an exclusive. And I think there must be some like economic gymnastics that go on with exclusives sometimes where they can be cheaper, but I don't think that's happened before. I don't think the Tiger Force RAM was cheaper than Breaker's RAM, was it? Do we know? I can't even remember. But anyway, yeah, the rust on his knife, says Nictimus Prime. I didn't. Yeah, it's cool, that, isn't it? Bit of bloody rust on me knife. Amazing stuff. But yeah, lovely shots from Shooting the Galaxy again. There's from the back. There's a nice one of him bending down and firing his kind of sighted pistol. Very nice. Oh, that's a nice dynamic action shot as well. All very lovely stuff. December 1st delivery in the States, says Flaffle. Thank you. Breaker with RAM was $39.99. Duke with RAM with $41.99. So it was a completely opposite direction there, wasn't it, Darren? So yeah, interesting that they could do that. I don't know why. I have no clue. I guess they might talk. I don't know if they will talk about it at PulseCon. Maybe I can ask them and see if I can get an answer out of them. The Trooper goggles have a cool snake eye effect. They do, Mark. Yeah, it's very cool indeed. Both Rams were exclusives anyway, Robert. You're right. Breaker with Ram wasn't he? But was he a Pulse exclusive? And Duke was a Target exclusive. Is that right? Breaker wasn't Cobra Island, was he? He might have been. I just can't remember. It's so long ago. Let me know in the comments. I can't remember if Breaker with Ram was a Cobra Island exclusive or if he was a Pulse exclusive. They were both Target. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe. Well, that doesn't help because obviously they're both Target. So maybe it is a case of a figure with vehicle does just become cheaper through an exclusive like Target then. Oh no, Breaker was Cobra Island, people are saying. And that's what I thought was the case. But Cobra Island was Target. So yeah, they're both Target. Yeah, it was Cobra Island, sorry. And also they were both Target because Cobra Island exclusives were Target exclusives. Sorry, it's been a long day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I suppose it does complete the OG Python Patrol, doesn't it? We've completed the Python Patrol OG. We've got the officer, the officer, the officer. We've got the officer. We've got the officer. We've got Copperhead, Televiper, Crimson Guard, the officer, and the trooper officer, which is great. And we've got the officer, which is amazing. I am joking, of course, but there are a lot of officers now. Yeah, so we've got the whole team. This is great. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Although technically we've got the whole OG team. You are totally correct, Flaffle. We still could expect a Televiper officer, couldn't we? I can't remember what the Televiper officer deco looked like. Was it this? Oh, okay. This is another one that I'm gonna have to work out. Televiper officer. Okay, whatever. Come on. God darn it. Sorry, this is me doing that thing where I can't operate a phone anymore for some reason. Yo, Bloomin' Joe, Televiper, officer, search. Oh, for goodness sake. There it is. Okay, so the Televiper officer, we'll go through more of Copperhead here, but I think that's everything. Okay, so here we are, the Televiper. Agree. Just get on with it. Now, the Televiper officer is kind of like black shirt, grey top, and then green and yellow pants with grey boots. So this is definitely the original Tiger Televiper OG deco, which is great. So yeah, because the club did the Televiper officer back for the convention in Florida, in Orlando, back in 2011. It was the parachute figure, I believe. So that kind of deco, I was expecting for this, and then them to do like a regular Televiper, almost single carded. I thought that would have been a good idea to get more out of the Televiper mold, because effectively you've got that. That's there, isn't it? That's like an option. Anyway, the other one, I suppose the other ones, you've got all that whole six. No, it's more than six. It's like a massive pack of figures, and like Major Blood and the Heat Viper and the Lamprey and the Saw Viper and Rock Viper, etc., etc. Oh, I forgot the officer, didn't I, Darren? Yeah, we've also got the officer. So yeah, there's a bunch of figures you could still do in Python Patrol, and if you ignore that, like that pack with all the the second iteration, should we say? Thank you, Rachel, of the Python Patrol. If you would kind of ignore that and maybe do that later on as like a maybe like the Python Patrol 2 in Classified, because obviously the fact they're all the same uniform, it would kind of make sense to do them as like another separate sub team as an exclusive run at some point in the future. Anyway, you could still do like Crocmaster and Fiona, and I would love that with a red Fiona. I think that'd be sensational. Then of course you've got Motor Viper. So the fact that we've got a vamp coming means that a Python Patrol kind of like Stinger with a Motor Viper would be exceptional, and that's obviously a club introduction for the 4-inch line. Super Saiyan's like, no more, no. Okay, so yeah, here we are with the Televiper and Cobra Flight Pod, Trigger and Lightning. Rachel, yes, Relampago and the other one, Relampago, and what's the other one? It's Trigger and Lightning, I know, but I can't remember what their South American names are. Anyway, that's going to drive me nuts. Yeah, so here we go. Televiper and Cobra Flight Pod. Different artwork again. We're in that mine temple again, and they have kind of stuck very close to that. Now, that's a mine on there, isn't it? Yeah, we do get another mine with it, which is Gatio. Thank you very much to Rachel and Darren. Gatio and a Relampago. Televiper. So yeah, I think those would be actual like possibilities. Honestly, I do think they'd be possibilities in the line, especially with like Ripcord coming. Was it Airborne? Sorry, and yeah, Airborne coming. I could see them doing that, and yeah, it's more than a possibility in my opinion. Right. So again, really wicked box art and render, but the fact that it comes with all of the same accessories and is cheaper blows my mind. Someone said earlier that it was because you pay it's cheaper because it's uglier. I'm like, that's hilarious, but also get lost. It's amazing. I'm surprised they didn't do like just well, I suppose it is, isn't it? I suppose it is the kind of class. Yeah, it is. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's the first time I've really seen it, but it does kind of follow the classic vehicle deco, which is pretty cool and very awesome. Yeah, I don't think it's ugly personally. I think it's awesome. Yeah. So again, I can't believe it's coming with all the accessories, all the head sculpts, all the Televiper accessories, all like the missiles and and all the guns and then everything, and the mine. Nuts. Got the Python logo on the side and the shoulder as well, which is pretty dope. And of course that gorgeous kind of like wrist communicator dealy, which is pretty dope as well. Like that a lot. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of red in it on that one, and with the black and the yellow. I think it looks wicked. I like that the dome has got that kind of like tint to it as well, and it kind of really highlights the HUD too, the heads-up display. Did I see the pictures of the trouble bubble with the mine attached to the handle in front, Chris? Well, we're going to get to that in a second, aren't we? I guess, David. So yeah. The trouble bubble deco looks more like a Tiger Force vehicle to me, says Darren. Yeah, just needs the stripes, doesn't it? It's ugly, but I think that's why I love it, says Nicodemus. Yeah, I don't think it's ugly at all. I think it's dope. I'm just really happy that we've got the Televiper as well. Like that's so cool. And I love the fact that it's a black mine they've got too. That's pretty sweet. Just so much cool in here. And the hose is red. That's a nice touch. That's gonna make it for a nice like color pop with the figure when he's holding all his gear and everything. I do like that. Um yeah. So here's that's a good shot actually of the red hose that goes from the kind of the TV vacuum to the backpack. I need to order another 30 of these, says Ryan Meltzer. Ryan, who famously did the Televiper cosplay and with the actual helmet that had words running across it. So massive shout out to Ryan for the incredible Televiper cosplay that you've absolutely smashed out the park in the past, my good man. I'm sure you're excited for this figure. Televiper's got a nice tight butt on that picture as well. Look, very nice tush. I like it. And of course, I love that shot in the kind of fuzzy background of the of the trouble bubble, kind of like banking to the side. Very cool indeed. Loving these images. There's another great shot. Kind of like you can see the VR headset kind of head sculpt. It looks kind of really like robotic and droid-like, and that's kind of terrifying and very creepy. I love this deco. Red, black, and yellow. Yes, please. Very nice indeed. Yes, there's a hydrofall in the background, Darren. It's the blooming Cobra Island background. We've seen it many, many times back in the day as well. Like this is what they used for Baroness and Beachhead and who else? Roadblock version, Cobra Island, the Trooper, and now of course the Baroness and the twins and these guys too. They're really utilizing this particular old school backdrop, aren't they? Very much so. Here's another shot with his mine. Is it mine? No, it's mine. And yeah, and again, it's a good kind of shot there of the wrist communicator, which is pretty dope as well. I do like that. Oh god, I love this figure. I love this figure anyway in its standard form. But I love this deco and I love Python Patrol. Oh, so awesome. There he is, hossing around, aren't you, my man? And some other stuff in the background flying around. Again, very, very awesome. And there is that. I love this shot of kind of like it kind of parked with all the bits open, so the guy's ready to kind of like put a missile back on it and get in there. Very, very awesome. I'm Televipers in general are underrated, says Jeremy, and I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. Hydrofoil HasLab confirmed, says Jody. I think you wouldn't be the only one that would want a hydrofoil. I think there's been a lot of hydrofoil lovers in the chat so far today. I have only got about 5 minutes left, so we'll just move on to. I think this is the last image anyway. It is. I timed that well, didn't I? Blimey. Like I said, it was only going to be a short one, I'm afraid, guys, because I've got to nip out now and see my friends have dinner around the Wellses. So I will. We'll be talking about these probably when we get around there, of course, because that's all we do. That's all we talk about. That yellow really pops on these figures. Really need airtight and Lightfoot now. Yes, we do, Darren. Yes, we do. Definitely Lightfoot. I could see, like, I think airtight has to be on the list, doesn't he? I feel like he has to be on the list. Sticker or paint on the side. On the side. That's yeah. Do you know what? I didn't even notice that pattern. I've only just seen the kind of goldy yellowy pattern on the actual main bulk of the body there. I would suggest that's probably deco or some sort of like tampo that isn't something that would peel off, basically, Nictimus. Like some sort of water decal or a paint job. But it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Very nice. Anyway, I'm glad I could do some sort of live today for you guys. Like I said, no weekly today, tomorrow, yeah, in what would have been an hour or so's time. But like I said, I've got to leave, so wouldn't be able to do it anyway. So I will be back with more unboxings. Guess what I'm picking up tonight? Snow Serpent and Chuckles. When am I going to get to actually open this up? I'm going to have to do like some sort of mega unboxing tomorrow. Like it's just an all day unboxing where we just get into all of them in one go. I might even do that, and we just have like an extended Saturday kind of episode where we can kind of talk about stuff and maybe just, you know, vibe a little bit. Maybe that might be the only way I can do this, but you know, we'll see how it go. Anyway, it's been an absolute hell of a day. I am in the UK right now, Darren. Yes. So I will, like I said, I will see you guys on the next one. Before I go. Me up before you go. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys for jumping in. Really appreciate all the chat. What have I got coming up for you? Let's talk classified Jinx. Let's talk classified Torch. I'm going to have to do those really quick this week because I've got a feeling we're going to be seeing those during PulseCon, even just like some digital render kind of fashion. Check out our PulseCon preview as well. I did that the other day. If you haven't already seen that, that was a fun episode to kind of go through. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I am going to be late for dinner, but that always happens. So like I said, I will see you guys on the next one, probably tomorrow for an unboxing. In the meantime, have a great weekend. If I don't see, I will see you, obviously. But yeah, and thanks very much for joining me whilst we talked through the Python Patrol Target exclusives. Links in the description for the Target pre-orders as well. All sold out on Pulse. They only had a small amount as per usual, but they went pretty fast. And yeah, I will see you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3, full Python Patrol Force. Bye. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.